In something of a bolt out of the blue, Sony has opened up about its next-gen plans, and revealed a deluge of tech specs and juicy details about the work-in-progress PlayStation 5. According to an interview between Wired and Chief System Architect Mark Cerny, the next-gen console, which is not officially called the PS5, will support 8K graphics, 3D audio, a lightning-quick C, and backwards compatibility with PS4 titles. For those devs looking for a more technical breakdown, Cerny explained the next-gen box will feature an 8-core CPU based on the third generation of ARM's Ryzen line, a custom-built Radeon Navico that will support ray tracing, and a custom unit for 3D audio that will apparently redefine game audio. Perhaps the most interesting thing about the PS5 is the inclusion of the C solid-state drive. Sony claims the console will pack a specialized C that will dramatically reduce load times, and noted it was one of the most requested features from a dev standpoint. To highlight the benefits of ARC, he booted up Marvel's Spider-Man on a next-gen dev kit, which is only an early, low-speed version, and compared its performance with that of the PS4 version. On the current Get console, fast traveling across Manhattan took around 15 seconds, while on the new console, the exact same journey took all of 0.8 seconds. It also allowed the game world itself to be rendered at much faster speeds, without any drop-off in visual quality. Although Sony could not reveal any more technical details, he did reassure PlayStation VR owners that the headset would continue to be supported by the next-gen machine. There was also the hint of a suggestion that long-gestating titles, like Hideo Kojima's babysitting sim Death Stranding, might soon become generation-spanning titles. Beyond that, there was no word as to when the PS5 will actually hit shelves, although Sony did at least rule out a 2019 release. For more details on the console, be sure to check out the full Wired interview. A year ago, I have published an article about surviving 2 years as indie developer. On 26th of January 2019, my company became 3 years old. 2018 was a year of changes and new revelations, so I will try to outline them here. I hope these things will give you a perspective. If you are only planning to go into indie starting out, leave the Galaxy Apple story, my background and current situation. 29 years old, live in Riga, Latvia. After doing web development, I went to work as C dev for 4 years, and then quit my job to start making games. First year was LIBGDX, then I moved to Unity. Apart from me, my studio right now have one other employee. In the end of 2017, we released a relatively successful indie game Laser Galaxy which combined incremental and RTS game mechanics. I am a bit conscious of writing this. If you are a seasoned indie developer, I think you might laugh at my advice experiences. But if you are thinking about starting out professionally, I am hoping this could save you some pain. Here goes. Success of one game does not guarantee the success of the next one. I guess this is obvious. Still, subpar launches will affect you in a way, even if you rationally understand it. When I was launching Laser Galaxy in Rebel Story, I was fairly confident that, same franchise, different genre, but I am going to make it. Heck, it did not go great even though it's my highest quality game so far. When it comes to production value, aim for niche, but not super niche. There are too many variables. While Laser Galaxy release worked and Laser Galaxy Rebel Story did not, I think the incremental game PC market is underpopulated. I think I added a good twist less battles. For Rebel Story, I went for much genre. There was not many popular shops released in 2018 at that point, so I felt I had a chance. Then each might have demand, but it's way smaller than incrementals. Do market research. If your gifts are getting 5 to 10 likes on Twitter during screenshots or teases, it's probably not the project you should be focusing on. Same goes for finding a publisher. If you want a publisher and everyone keeps rejecting you, maybe, but not necessarily, you have a risky project on your hands.
YMMV
Lazy Galaxy Project Scope. Rebel Story took 5 months to make and 2 months to port on consoles. So far it's a loss, but it's, hopefully, going to be okay in 6 months. If I combine the sales on all 3 platforms, it would not do okay if the project was longer, and if it required more manpower. This is just how it is. For now, I am still sticking to 6 math projects. Lazy Galaxy was 10 months. But it was that way because it had traction at the release and I could see that I could keep up with the development without going bankrupt. As soon as sales stopped, I did 1 more month of updates, adding features on a game that left early access, and moved on. I'd love to have a project of my life, but it was not it. I think it's sensible to not spend more than 6 months on a game if you do not have enough sales funding to warrant it. No, that does not mean that you need to abandon games. That means that you need to have a feature-complete game that could be made in 6 months. In addition to that, you need to have a plan how you would update expanded if it went well. Be ready to embrace success. But budgeting for failure is also important. You do not want to go broke if one of your projects failed. Early access launch is not necessarily the main and only launch, at least for small and mid-size indies. At least not anymore. I remember this being told a lot to me in 2016 and 2017. In my case, it was not true. On the month of launch, Lazy Galaxy got more sales than it did when it got early access. Which brings me to the next point. The game release is a sequence of decisions. Do not stress it. I cannot pinpoint that one decision that would make the game flop or bring it to the top. I see devs, myself included, worried about release dates, Steam, tax, Twitter presence, handling early access, you name it, all the time. Right now, I think that if you mess up one of these points, things can still work out. There is luck factor involved. You can also do some things right and still fail. Doing things properly just gives you a higher chance to succeed. Lazy Galaxy was getting 15 to 20 likes on Good Pound Kid screenshots or teases, but it still did okay on launch. Lazy Galaxy had 14th of December release date. Bear in mind that it was easier in 2017, but it still did okay. You might luck out, but why risk it if you know better? Mentorship. In the second half of 2018, I managed to get a help of a mentor. Lottie Devon from Weather Factory kindly agreed to have short monthly calls email consultation whenever I needed something. I want to say that this really helps to add a perspective to whatever you are doing. Even if you feel like you have it figured out, it really helps discussing it with someone and seeing whether you are wrong or not. It has been a tremendous help, and I really appreciate it. Statistics. Data. First, the seemingly depressing graph. Company income from both freelance and our own games versus expenses. As you can see, the revenue of 2017 mostly went to cover expenses of 2018. I'm still paying myself close to a minimal salary, but it felt more stable this year. I had to skip a few months in 2017, and almost every month in 2016. There is a nitpick though. Here's the income from my games compared to the income from the freelance.
2016至2018
Incorporated from freelance versus income from games. Our own games earned company more money than freelance in 2018. Is not it cool? Still not enough to sustain two people. But I am pretty excited about what's to come in 2019.